Today we're going to talk about what is considered najasa in Islam, what is filthiness in Islam. Like someone will say, okay, I have a trash can at home. Well, if you're only putting in it food and paper and cans and bottles, you still can call it trash and garbage, but is it filthy? It's not. Leftover food is not filthy. Dry cans and dry bottles and whatever is not filthy. To you it's trash, it's barely. But when we say filthy means if it comes on you, you cannot pray while it's on you. You have to clean it. That's what we mean. It's filthy. Najasa means something filthy. If I want to stand in salah or tawaf or reading the Quran or something like that, then I have to clean myself from that. This is what we mean by the term in najasa, as how we clean ourselves in that. And it's in categories. I'm going to go over it inshallah ta'ala. And they say النجاسة هي القذارة التي يجب على المسلم أن يتنزه عنها ويغسل ما أصابه منها. So what is filthiness? It is the filthy matter that every Muslim should avoid, not touching him, number one. Him or what? His clothes, not just your skin. It should not be on your clothes, nor it should be on your body. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, who remembers Surah Al-Muddathir? Anyone memorizes the surah? Ya ayyuha al-muddathir qum fa'anzir wa rabbaka fakabbir, and then what? Wa thiyabaka fatahhir. Clean your clothes too. And Allah also says in another verse in the Quran, Inna Allah yuhibbu at-tawwabin wa yuhibbu al-mutatahhirin. Those people who keep cleaning themselves. So cleanliness of the body is a major concept. The same way, the cleanliness of thoughts, meaning believing in the proper thing, should be associated with the cleanliness of the body and the cleanliness of the clothes and the cleanliness of the place. Taharatul makan wal-thawb wal-jasad. So the combination. And these are three preconditions for salah. Anyone who wants to pray, you have to make sure the place you pray is clean, the clothes you are wearing are clean, and then your body is what? Is clean in that matter. The first type of najasa is called al-maytah, anything that died on its own. وهي ما مات حتف أنفه من غير تذكية. Anything that died on its own without being slaughtered. So if you pass by a dead rabbit and it's stinking and it has all these worms, then that could be considered what? Najasa. You cannot touch that. I mean, you can't touch it. You're not going to go to hell if you touch it. I'm saying it will cause you to be najasa. You have to wash because of that. وقيل أنه يلحق بها ما قطع من الحي. Any piece of meat, let us say, if a wolf, a coyote, whatever, took a bite from a deer and he dropped it, that piece of meat, since it was taken from something alive, to you it becomes mayta. It becomes a dead piece of meat. So it can be filthy. If you touch it, you have to clean yourself from that. It has to be slaughtered. For you to eat any meat, it has to be slaughtered or hunted. Hunted by you, not eaten by a carnivore. No, you cannot, to answer you. Because you can hunt an animal, a bird or a deer or whatever, by an arrow or by a gun, whatever, and you might reach it and it's dead already. So even if you slaughter it, no blood is going to come out, but already we believe the arrow caused the blood to come out from the animal, or the bullet, or the whatever, the gun. Right. Now, anything that died on its own is considered filthy? No, there are exceptions. As-samak is not filthy because we don't slaughter fish. When you go fishing, you just fish and then get it out and you wait until it's die and then you eat it, whatever, You grill it, you bake it, you fry it, you whatever. بلاش نحكي في الأكل هلا جوعنا. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, أُحِلَّ لَنَا مَيْتَتَانِ وَدَمَانِ. We have been given permission that to eat two types of dead animals or dead matters. You can eat dead fish and you can eat dead grasshoppers or locusts. And you might not like to eat locusts. Anyway, like that's not your style. I'm okay, but it's not haram to eat it. A lot of people depend on it for protein, in deserts and whatever. So eating it, you don't slaughter a locust or a grasshopper. You just eat it, when it's dead. وَأَمَّا الدَّمَانِ فَالْكَبِدُ وَالطِّحَالِ. The liver and the spleen. You can eat them without grilling them or frying them or bake them. You can just eat them raw. In Lebanon, if I want to honor you for a breakfast, I bring you what we call al-ma'la. We just slaughter the sheep and we bring it raw and we just put some salt and pepper and we eat right fresh. Now also this might be like, like that's too much, like zombies or maybe you don't like it, that's fine, but is it haram? No, it's haram. And the reasoning, scientifically talking, because the blood is not as liquidy like normal. The blood in these two items, the al-kabid wa tihal, is very thick. So it has some difference that the Prophet allowed us to eat, in that matter. We can talk scientifically about it, but we take it because the Prophet said, not because we came out into a scientific conclusion on that. And anything that, so that's number one. The hadith actually brought four things. السمك, the fish, locusts, الجراد, liver والسلين, الكبد والطحال. The second one, قال لك ميتة ما لا دم له سائل. Anything that does not have blood, regardless if you, we're not talking about eating it or not. We're talking about, is it najis, filthy or not? Meaning, النمل أو الحشرات, insects. If an insect came onto your clothes, it does not make it filthy. You can just, kick it away and that's fine. Or a fly, or a mosquito, or something like that, or the spider, or whatever it is. So particularly insects that don't have any blood in them, if they touch you or they are on your clothes, you don't need to wash, so you can stand for prayer. You can just, As a matter of fact, a lot of people in the desert, I live in the village most of my life. I lived in the States more of my life now, when I was younger. But I'm saying I lived in the village. Even when we are praying, like there will be, mosquitoes or flies or the ban, we just keep praying. It should be something normal, inshallah ta'ala. Even if they say if it falls into like, even if you want to eat, and I know you might feel disgusted, but would it make it filthy? No, it will not make it filthy. If it falls into your plate, you don't have to throw the whole plate. And you could throw the insect away and keep eating. But we're not talking about what you feel like it or dislike it. We're talking about filthy or not in that matter. What is also excluded also is عظم الميتة وقرنها وظفرها وشعرها وريشها وجلدها وكل ما هو من جنس ذلك طاهر. So even if there was a dead animal, the bones of a dead animals are not filthy. The skin of a dead animal is not filthy. And there's some dispute about that. The Prophet ﷺ passed once by a dead goat, and he said, هل أخذتم إهابها فدبغتموه فانتفعتم به قالوا إنها ميتة قال إنما حرم أكلها. So he passed by a dead goat and the people just left it. He said, why don't you skin the skin out and use it, dye it. Dyeing at that time used to put salt under the sun. وخلاص. They said, but it's maita. He said, it's haram to eat it. But it doesn't mean that the skin is unusable. You can skin it out and dye it and then it becomes tahir. You can use it in that. So they consider also the bones that are of a dead animal is also tahir in that. Now the second thing The first category is the dead animals. The second thing, ad-dam, is considered also filthy. So number one, dead things could be filthy. Number two, blood could be filthy. سواء كان دما مسفوحا أم دم حيض. Regardless if it was blood coming out from your body if you are injured, or if it is the monthly period for the female. إلا أنه يعفى عن اليسير منه. If it was in a very small amount, then it is not considered what? يعني something filthy. And here you might run into some people who are hardcore Hanafi, hardcore Shafi'i, hardcore Hanbali, and they might be very touchy on that. For example, according to Imam Abu Hanifa, if the blood on your body moves like 2 millimeters, then it becomes sa'al. Then it has to be cleaned. While other scholars, they said no, Sahaba used to be injured in battles and used to pray, and they would not clean themselves. So you're gonna run into a lot of views. Don't bother with that. Just ask the Sheikh, and whatever he answers you, then just take it from there. And I'm here to help you understand why do they differ on that. Because sometimes it is the level of the authenticity of the hadith that is accepted by one scholar and not accepted by another scholar. Sometimes it is the analogy, the qiyas, from one ayah to another. Sometimes it is the ijtihad, the interpretation of the scholar that will make. That's why we have different schools of thoughts in Islam. But we're talking about blood in general is considered what? Filthy. If it comes on your body, then you have to wash it, or if it comes on your clothes. So let me ask a question. If there was blood on your hand from you helped someone injured and came blood on your hand, do you need to redo your wudu? Well, I like that you are participating with us. No, the answer is no. You need to wash your hand, bottom line, that's it. Renewing wudu, we're going to talk about that later, has nothing to do with filthiness coming on your body. The only time you need to renew your wudu are three things, major three things. Using the washroom, if it was number two or number one as we say, passing gas, or sleeping, bottom line. Only if one of these three items you do, then you need to renew your wudu. But if someone even urinated, like let us say you have a baby on your hand, and she or he urinated on your hand, you don't have to remake wudu, you just go wash your hand. Because filthiness came on your hand. Or if it came on your clothes, you just go wash the area where the filthiness came in. That does not void your wudu. You're on wudu. Only if you sleep, only if you pass gas, or only if you use the washroom, number one or number two, that's when you do what? To renew wudu. But if filthiness came on your body or on your clothes, then you go wash that part. But you don't have to renew your whole wudu for that. I have no idea where you heard that from. Yeah. You could take the trash of 10 homes and take them to the garbage and your wudu would not be voided. That's fine. If you touch filthiness with your hands, let us say you grab the trash bag which has some, kids wiping their butt in it, and then it touched, the poop on your hand, then you go wash your hands. But that does not void your wudu. You're still on wudu. Yes?
What about like cleaning the cat?
Again, the only thing that voids your wudu are three things. That's it. If you sleep and you wake up, then you make another wudu. If you pass gas yourself, then you need to renew your wudu. If you use the washroom yourself, you remake wudu. That's it. Any filthiness that you touch, you just need to clean the filthiness on your hands, and that's it. Not every time you touch, you're changing for your son and you touch urine, or that has nothing to do with your wudu. You're still on wudu. It does not void your wudu. Is it clear? Okay. What? Again, ya ukhti, it does not matter what you touch. You just wash what is filthy on your hand or your clothes. Sometimes you might need to wash the whole shirt or whatever if it's like all over. But if it was touched only on the side of your yani, sleeve, then you just wash that area and that's it. Yes. Wudu is the ablution, when you make what you wash your body before you stand for salah. Every time you pray, you have to wash your hand. We're gonna talk about it in a moment. Now,
Was getting like a big cut and bleeding, is that?
I adopt the idea, although I'm a Hanafi, but I'm gonna answer you as a sheikh for the community here. If there's blood, you need to clean it, but it does not void your wudu. It does not void your wudu. You just need to clean it, and if it runs a lot during salah, then yes, quit salah and go fix your hand and then come back. But I adopt, or what I tell people that it does not void your wudu in that matter, because some scholars consider that dam al-masfuh is filthy, but not in small amounts. But it becomes big amounts, then yes, we consider that you need to get out from salah or whatever, or remake wudu for that. If it's in a small amount, that's fine. But if it became like big, go take care of yourself, yani. طيب. As they said, يعفى من اليسير منه. If it's in a small amount, then that should be fine. And because the Quran said أو دما مسفوحا, like blood that is rolling on your, and on your skin. Also, there's a hadith. One person asked, what about when we cook food and there's some blood that comes out on top of the, so should we avoid eating that whole meat? No, that's considered the little bit left over. So you can just take it off and clean. As long as the meat that you are cooking has been slaughtered or hunted, then that should be fine. Yes?
If we're remaking wudu, can we rub the water over our socks or no?
No. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا, O who you believe, إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة فاغسلوا وجوهكم وأيديكم إلى المرافق. Wash your faces and wash your hands to the elbows. وامسحوا برؤوسكم. That's the difference between ghusl and masah. Ghusl is when you run water over your skin. Masah when you wipe. So you run water over your face, you run water over your hands to the elbows, and then you just make your hands wet and you wipe over your head. وأرجلكم. أرجلكم is a مفعول به, is the object of the فعل of the verb فاغسلوا. So you have to wash your feet. The Prophet ﷺ gave us permission to wipe over the al-khuf, or the thick socks, الجورب الثخين. So you only wipe over the thick socks or the khuf. The khuf is the socks made from skin. Like at that time they used to make things they wear over their legs made from skin. And now we make qiyas, analogy, that you can wipe over the socks as long as they are kind of thick. That when you wipe your hand, the water does not reach what? Your skin and your feet. But if the socks that you wear is very thin, then you cannot. You have to wash your feet.
I'm sorry, maybe I'll talk later about it.
ماشي. طيب. It was narrated that كان أبو هريرة رضي الله عنه لا يرى بأسا بالقطرة والقطرتين في الصلاة. Abu Huraira, it was narrated to him that if there was one drop or two of blood on your skin, it should be fine. It shouldn't be an issue with that. So that's to confirm what you were talking about. So, نعم.
Another question about redoing your wudu if you get touched by a non-Muslim, like if you were somewhere and somebody shakes your hand.
The three things that I gave you are the most practiced among all madhahib. If you sleep, if you pass gas, or if you use the washroom, number one or number two, that will 100% void your wudu. There are multiple things according to different madhahib that will break your wudu too, including eating camel meat. According to some madhahib, that will break your wudu, including touching an unmahram, including laughing during salah, including whatever imam. But I say just these three things to make it easy on everyone. Yani. Unless, as I said, you are a hardcore this madhab or that madhab. So, dead animals, blood. Number three, al-khanzir, lahm al-khanzir. We believe that the pig's meat by itself is filthy. So if you just go to a store now, let us say you went to Costco, or you went to Shop and Save, or whatever, and there's a piece of swine meat, lahm khanzir, and you just touched it, it's not haram. You're not going to go to hell because you touched it. You're going to go to hell, or you're going to be punished if you eat it, because what Allah made haram is eating lahm al-khanzir. But it is filthy. If you touch it, you have to go back, Aish. It does not break your wudu. You just need to what? To wash your hands. And that should be fine. قل لا أجد فيما أوحي إلي محرما على طاعم يطعمه إلا أن يكون ميتة أو دما مسفوحا أو لحم خنزير فإنه رجس. These three things are mentioned in this ayah in Surah Al-An'am. Number 4, 5, and 6. The food that you throw up is considered filthy because it's processed within your guts. So, if someone threw up al-qay, al-istifragh, and that food, the processed food from your stomach, acids, مش عارف إيش, then that's considered filthy. If you touch it, before you stand for salah, you have to what? Wash your hands. Also, al-bawlu wal-buraz. So, the urine and the poop of a human being is considered what? Also filthy. And we're talking about adults. In kids, there is exception for young boys only, not young girls. That's what the Prophet said, sallallahu, that if there is a boy, and what is the timeline? If the boy has not been fed regular food yet. If the young boy is just drinking, suckling milk from his mother's breast, then if he urinates on you as a mother, you don't need to take off your shirt and go wash it. You can just take water and throw some water, drops on it and just wipe it, and that should be fine. But if she was a female, then you have to wash your clothes. Maybe because of the biological way, the body of the female, even from a young age, the Prophet said that it has to be. And subhanAllah, for mothers, they know the scent of the urine of a female is different than the scent of the urine of a male. We're not going to go into why this, why that. That's what the Prophet told us. And in ibadat, we just follow what the Prophet told us. Of course, both the throwing up food or the poop, male, female, old, young, it's all considered what? It's all considered. Some people say, let's throw up for the young boys as also ish. But let us say anything that's thrown up, let's adopt that view. قال صلى الله عليه وسلم بول الغلام ينضح وبول الجارية يغسل. The urine of a boy is just like thrown water at it, يعني هيك تبللها شوي. بس بول الجارية يعني the girl, it should be washed. Now, there are things also that comes out from the private parts, if it was for a male or a female, what we call al-wadi, al-madhi, al-mani. Al-mani is the semen. It is considered to most of the scholars that the semen, that is, the essence of the sperms, bottom line talking about it, is considered to most scholars as tahir. It's not filthy. And the reasoning behind it is that the origin of the human being cannot be of something filthiness. So it is considered what? Tahir is clean. Some scholars say no, because it is processed within, like like how urine comes out and all that stuff, then it's considered also filthy. We will adopt whatever the majority of the schools of thought say it is what? It is tahir. And we have a hadith that Aisha radiallahu ta'ala said, كنت أفرك المني من ثوب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا كان يابسا. That I used to rub the semen or the sperm from the Prophet ﷺ on his clothes if it was dry already. وأغسله إذا كان رطبا. But if it was wet, I would wash it. So meaning it was stay on his clothes ﷺ. And that's why they consider it more like saliva, something like that. أما المذي is what comes out from the person. If you think of sexual intimacy, there's a clear water that comes out from the private part for males or females. That's considered najis. So you have to wash it. And of course, both al-mani, wal-wadi, wal-madhi, the three things, do break your wudu, and al-mani breaks your ghusl. You need to make what? A shower for that. So if someone had an intercourse, it's not enough to make what? Wudu. You have to take a shower. Or if someone, masturbated or whatever, they have to take also a shower for that. But if someone thought of, sexual intimacy, and this madhi came out, the clear water that we are talking about, it is considered that it breaks your wudu, and it is filthy only by itself, so you have to wash it. Al-wadi is something that comes out from the person if he did not have a relationship with his wife for a long time. So bottom line, it becomes more like thick, pieces of matters that comes from the private part. Both al-mani and both al-wadi and al-madhi are considered najis, filthy, and you need to make wudu after that, inshallah ta'ala. So we're talking about three types of things that comes out from the private part. The mani, which is the semen or the sperms, it is considered tahir, but it causes you to do what? Ghusl. The other two, madhi and wadi, it is considered najis, and you only need to make wudu for that. Let me finish. I know نحن we are out of time, but let me finish fast. بول وروث ما لا يؤكل لحمه. Any urine or poop of any animal that we don't eat is considered najis. So lions, cats, tigers, name it. Any animal that is a carnivore, basically, that we don't consume, then the urine and the poop is considered what? Considered najis. You cannot have it on your body without washing it away. Now, what about the animals that we eat? What about the urine of a cow? What about the urine or the poop of a cow? Most likely, there's also dispute in view on that, but we don't consider it filthy. You should clean yourself, and people don't like to be touched by any urine of any animal. But if someone is a shepherd, and he has like cows and sheep and goats, and some of the urine came on him, according to most scholars, he doesn't need to wash that or even remake wudu for that. Al-Khamr, any type of wine or liquor is considered tahir. It is not filthy. Now, it is haram to drink, but if you are sitting in a plane next to someone who is drinking wine, let us say, and he opened a can of beer or whatever and splashed on you, you might be angry or whatever, but do you need to go wash your clothes to pray? No, it is still because it's made from fruits or dates or whatever. The origin is like barley or even rice and stuff like that. So the wine or the liquor is haram to consume, but the water itself, the liquid, is not considered what? Is not considered najis. The last thing to finish today, al-kalb وهو نجس ويجب غسل ما ولغ فيه 7 مرات. And some scholars consider only the poop and the urine of a dog is filthy. They don't consider, and I lean to this view myself, that dogs are not filthy except for their urine and their poops. Most of the scholars say even the saliva of a dog is considered filthy. I agree, I accept that. But Imam Malik and some other scholars say it's not only the poop and the urine is considered. So you can pet a dog, you can, you should not eat. The Prophet said, إِذَا وَلَغَ كَلْبُ أَحَدِكُمْ فِي إِنَائِهِ. You should not share the plate with a dog. If the saliva of a dog is in the plate, you have to go wash it. But does it cause you to be filthy that you need to wash it? According to Imam Malik, no, it is not considered filthy in that. وصلى الله وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Any question? Yes.